Abdullah Mason is an American professional boxer in the lightweight division. He has been the WBO champ since 2025 and possesses an unimaginable strength and agility. His perfect record of 20 fights with 20 wins demonstrates that perfectly, but an imminent threat is coming his way. Cordina, a professional fighter out of Wales who is a two-time super bantamweight champion and has only been defeated once in his entire career. With his rising win streak, it is expected that sooner or later, Mason will have to face this dominating opponent. To get an idea of Cordina's true power, just take a look at some of his best fights. On November 4th, 2023, Cordina faced Edward Vasquez, a formidable opponent with immense punch power, but it still wasn't enough. In round 2, Edward quickly launches at Cordina and lands a couple of shots but gets brutally punished by him afterwards. After dominating a couple of rounds, Cordina snaps and starts his counterattack. By round 7, both fighters were running on fumes. However, none of them was willing to give up just yet. Now, it was Joe all over once again. Cordina was still looking fresh even after all 9 rounds, and he was destroying Edwards' gut with his body shots. Even after trying his best in the last round, Edward wasn't able to take down the beast, and Cordina continued his winning streak. But that was until he met Anthony Gase. Anthony and Joe fought each other on the 18th of May 2024. But Anthony isn't just any regular boxer. He is a professional Irish boxer who has held IBF, WBO, and the WBA titles at once. And nobody knew that this boxer would become the first man on the planet to take down the Welsh fighter. By round 2, Anthony was already showing his terrifying nature, throwing everything at Cordina with full force. Suddenly, a cheap shot by Anthony pisses off Cordina. Cordina barely survives the 4th round after getting knocked down by that devastating right uppercut, but Joe isn't going down without a fight. Slowly, Cordina was turning the fight in his favor, but it was about to get brutal for both fighters.
He has got to do if he said break. You're supposed to break. You are supposed to protect. Nice left hook from Kakashi. He might command at all times. Off the head, on the right hand. Cordina. Kakashi just looks stronger.
Anthony shifts the tide in round 7 and goes full berserker. Finally came the 8th round when Joe met his mate. A brutal onslaught by Anthony forces the referee to stop the match before things got out of hand, and Joe takes his first ever professional loss. But after the fight, Cordina didn't stop and went back into action against Gonzalez on July 5th, 2025. From the opening bell, Jarrett tries to assert his dominance and goes on the offense straight away, but Joe remains calm as he finds holes in Jarrett's defense.
10-rounder, but he's won his last for a really tough night here. As Barry says, is it sorry.
Yeah, you see the little burst of pace.
Heroes being so fresh on the ambition there, step moving. Be trying to have a look as well. Obviously, he'll know about the quality. He had a good chat with Joe in London to get back. He's brilliant former fighter and excellent and slow down Kiros. Nice easy control approach here from the...
Finally, Joe starts his counter-attack.
Quality is the Kakashi defeat. Taken out of him, something you think a long leg.
You know, back fight. I was thoroughly impressed with just how long.
Yeah, what went wrong there on that night? On the front foot, starting to get in the...
If you built it for the walking down, I think...
Whenever Jarrett tried to bounce back, Joe punished him brutally.
Taking control back of his feet. He's met all that shot though.
And that's what you can't do with them, actually. You can't just stand there in front of them, but they want to.
Then your shots go weak first. Shots right and left go from Cordina. Brilliant, isn't it here? Second round, Cordina. Kelly over there for smash and grab.
Lovely there for Joe Cordina. But yeah, just a very, very hard night. It's a very, very good one.
He changed the levels, he got the reaction. Cordina. Brilliant work in class when he uses that stiff jab.
Joe keeps his distance from Jarrett, but once he has a good idea of Jarrett's game plan, he starts fighting back.
But it is a big step up, and Cordina just not the ability to counter.
And it's almost like Gonzalez is backing up probably because of that big left hook.
I think Quiros as well, he's
Body shot,
rhythm that way.
yeah, body shot from Quiros. Cordina comes on until you really see Cordina throw off there. They're good shots though from the Mexican. Video global title, whatever that is, on the line.
Try to win, he had a chance of it.
Yeah, he's measured times. Cordina and Quiros Adam.
Good body shot.
Now it was all out brutal, as both fighters started to fight brutally.
All of a sudden he's jumping with some shots, so dangerous shots. Joe Cordina.
Technical skills, you'll be okay.
I think there's signs from when they're fixing.
Cordina.
The way he's a rhythm player, Joe can be that
It's lively and lively, and he comes out for these rounds. And big shots as well, and he's really putting a lot together. And Kovac in his place. Or is it just raids?
Hardy closing the gap now, trying to make the ring smaller. He's doing a great job of doing it so far in this round anyway.
When it's like this, you just favour Cordina quite. Felt he hurt Quiros slightly. Yeah, the quality shot starting to show him. Good uppercut though, much lower level. And this is going for the guys. An orthodox fighter, you have to make sure you watch out at the turn.
Where's the Cordina then? He just can't.
Punch himself out here.
When he's just been caught, the ball in his bumper shoulder, just trying to work the body out.
Keep his concentration. Keep it
And he makes the Cordina his wall.
there, Sonny.
Yeah, and the whole time, shaking the stop, but then the right.
Going to punch up with that left hand.
He's a beautiful crossman.
And I feel like
More aggressive. And Cordina, as I say,
It's all about Joe makes a mistake though.
just won his last 5, but the class with Cordina.
He said, leaning back with the chin in the air. He's just
when he's throwing so much right now and he's sitting.
That's exactly what it is, Abdullah. I think he wants to.
Even after all the assaults by Joe, Gonzalez was still fighting back with everything he had left in the tank.
Singing this definite class. Body shake with Quiros now. Just followed July in store. I don't know what you're looking at, absolutely.
I can't even pick a fight right now. Like
You see when he walks him onto that middle of the guard instead of going round the side of the elbows, and you can see the reaction. You can see times he's hurt. It's the punches thrown landed all in.
he's got control, but you could be looking at.
And that goes down to that percent
Which Joe Cordina has somewhat landed in Cordina, and with all of Cordina,
Yeah, well,
which is surprising. Just need to be trading left hooks. And a bit of fighting as well on the right hands of Quiros, and he has got to be careful. That's best.
We'll leave it.
Low there, pull back. And this WBO global title.
but if he's low with it, he can almost win for him.
That's nice trim there. Just shook his right hand jab. And here comes Quiros again. Backing up, pretty good jab from Cordina. Back comes Quiros.
Corner getting more animated.
Somehow, both fighters managed to go all 10 rounds, but the dominance by Joe Cordina was showing signs now, and Gonzalez had nowhere to go.
The distance is about,
All of that. He wouldn't have shaken off the rush. He wouldn't have known green.
To move and admirably, unless something dramatic happens later on, but he can win a world title again.
But to survive Joe corners, Gonzalez and starts unleashing his fury.
Joe Cordina has had the class and the IQ and the gesso. Kyrgios has got to go for it. Cordina back with Alex Murphy and these two, Cordina and Kyrgios.
Finally, Joe Cordina wins the match after 10 brutal rounds, but it still wasn't enough for him, so he was back in action in December of 2025. This time, Cordina was up against Gabriel Flores, a lean, mean killing machine who was strong, agile, and his early dominance started suffocating his opponents. He thought that the same tactic would work on Cordina, but he was way too wrong.
When you face down, punch, not underestimating Flores, he said, but kind of on the verge of he feels that his arrangement right now, good right hand in his career, they never really grew into that man strength. Power to grow as he got older, never really did. That's cost rating. Shot for the body. Shot that actually got you the attention of Flores Jr. And Flores, 35-25. Nice left hook in that break. You're allowed some time. It's just like a low blow. The damage has been done to the body. Just every second of the sign, because he's talked about the fact that he described as a strange level of confidence. He eats it up and digs downstairs. No respect for the power of the punch.
After just a couple of rounds, Gabriel looked visibly scared as he was keeping his distance from Cordina, and he was always on the back foot.
Wrestle him in the inside and back him up. Back a shot from Cordina. Chopping right hand from Cordina. There a moment ago, for both fighters after these warnings. Do anything there. What happened with exchanges? Both men short with a body shot from Cordina as he comes forward. Flores is not taking these punches as well as he was early on.
Soon, Joe starts uploading his hammer punches on the poor fighter, making him reconsider his life decisions.
Joe Cordina on the break, final 10 seconds around 11. The temperament of an old champion. Final minute of the contest. That's Cordina. Next step back to the championship level.